Okay, so what you're going to need is, you don't need a lash tile actually. You can just use a piece of tin foil for your glue, and you can also stick your strip of lashes down on the piece of tin foil. So this is not necessary, but this is what I have. And then you're going to need a little sponge. You can use any sponge. I've gotten this one from Clicks. It's a makeup sponge. We're going to put the lashes on there to practice. And then you're going to need 2 professional lash tweezers. I use 2 curved tweezers. You can use straight tweezers, you can use 1 straight, 1 curved. You just have to see what works for you, but this works for me. And then I'm just going to demonstrate the lashes in, I'm going to get 11 millimeter length and 0.20 thickness. And I'll show you what the lashes look like in a second. And then you're going to get some professional lash glue as well. Okay, so here I have my eyelash extensions. They're individual classic eyelash extensions, and I just like to go like that with the tweezer just to make sure they're all separated. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick one of these rows out and peel it off. Great. And then I'm going to stick it onto my tile or my tin foil, whatever you've got, and just place it down like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my lash adhesive, I'm going to shake it up, and I'm going to put one very small drop onto the, I'm going to put one very small drop onto the lash tile. That's it. Okay, so lash 101. I'm going to pick up one of these lashes from the, and just make sure you've got one. This takes a bit of practice. I don't know if you can you see that? And we're going to dip it in the glue. Now, one of the tricks of doing good lash extensions is to make sure that you have the right amount of glue. It looks like a little, like the size of a sugar granule. That's about how much you want. You don't want more than that, you don't want less than that. And for the practice, what we're going to do is we're going to try to stick these lashes so that they sit upright, not to the left, not to the right. So here I go on my sponge, and there's a lash. I don't know if you can see. He's nice and upright. We don't want a skew lash. We want our lashes facing upright. Alright, and we're just going to go around the sponge and we're going to practice like that. If you do take too much glue, you can just wipe a little bit off, just give it a little tap and make sure that you don't have too much. You can even dip it again. Now there's just a bit of glue on there, and I'm just going to go in and stick him down. I can move the lash around before it dries just to make sure it's straight. But we want to get that base stuck down nicely. You don't want to have glue on the middle or the end of the lash, and you want to stick it down particularly at the base so the lash doesn't lift and your client doesn't lose a lot of lashes. So that little ball, you're looking for that little ball of glue. And if it falls to the side like that, just pick it up with your tweezer and you make him nice and straight. No skew lashes, nice and upright and straight. See, now I've got those nice and straight lashes. So we're going to keep practicing on this sponge, picking up one lash at a time and getting our little sugar granule of glue on the lash and trying to stick them perfectly upright. And there's, development in the method of this when you do stick them on someone's eyelashes. You don't want any clumps or thick parts of glue at the base of the lash either. You want to make it smooth and seamless so it's very comfortable and not hard for that client. But this is a great way to practice. It's not good to go and try and do this on a human being if you have not done a full lash course. The glue takes about 3 or 4 seconds to dry, and you can see how I'm using 2 curved tweezers here. I'm using one upright to place the lash, and I'm using one facing downwards. That just works for me. So I'm using the upright tweezer to pick up the lash like that. And my other tweezer is usually used to separate the client's eyelash extension. My curved tweezer is usually used to separate the client's lashes like that, and then we'll be putting one in. And if it doesn't stick, go back and get some more glue. If it's skew, pick it up and go and get some more glue. But remember, you don't want to use too much glue. It dries and it becomes very, very hard, and the eyes are very, very sensitive. So you don't want to make your client uncomfortable in any way. That one didn't stick, so I'll just pick it up again with my tweezer, and I'll just go in again with my little sugar granule of glue and pop him on. Make sure he's nice and straight. Not all of them are going to be perfect. It takes a lot of practice, but this is a very, very good way to practice. Just keep going on your sponge. I would also go around the sponge. Don't move the sponge, but just turn your hand so that you can try to lash at an angle as well, because you're going to need to learn how to work at different angles in this way. Just like that. And that's going to happen. It doesn't always, it sometimes falls, and you've got to work with your tweezer before the glue dries and just try and make him straight. If it's not straight, it's going to have to come off, and we dip it again, and we just try again to just make him straight. Don't ever just leave a lash falling to the left or right. You don't want to have upside down skew eyelashes. It gets harder when you go around the sides and do it at an angle. They want to kind of fall to the side, and that's how you learn to just pick them up and just make sure again that they're straight. Just try again. If you get frustrated, just move on to another, just discard the lash and move on to another lash. Not even slightly skewed, they've got to be